So here's my water trough, and I have planted jalapeno peppers in it, eggplant, lemon, that's eggplant, but I've also planted cucumber lemon, but that's what's growing in this one. And then I have squash and cucumbers growing in this one. And I had zucchini and more squash growing in this one. Well, I think this is more zucchini. And tomatoes. But this is how the wicking beds are looking with the actual vegetation planted into it. So it does work. And as you can see, it is now dripping out because I'm filling the reservoir with water. So once it starts doing this, I know it's filled up evenly, so I'm going to close it off. Here, where I have it filling up. Now this is just French drain piping that I have put down at the bottom. So that way the water can fill up evenly throughout the whole bottom of this bed. So some people like to put cinder blocks, rocks, and other things in the bottom of it. I prefer to put French drain only because you can fill the reservoir up and it will fill up evenly. Where with other things, it may not fill up as even if there's patches of dirt in some areas and that it's not getting the whole entire tank. It could be blocking off parts of the tank just by the dirt settling in. So I do have the French drain at the bottom. I do have a video on it, so you can always look back on that, but I wanted to show you how it turned out with actual vegetation in it. Now this works well for anything with vines. Some people do the vines over the two, but I did it around just because it was something fast and easy to do. But also the limbs were hanging over and it was causing squirrels and rats to get into it and eat everything. It's bad enough the birds get to it, but this is set up so the rats and the squirrels can't get into it. Because the limbs were down, they were able to climb into it. Now I did have a problem also of when the squirrels or rats would get in. They would climb in through here, go down deep, and then put holes in the French drain, then which they filled it up with dirt. So it really messed up the whole system. So with these French drains, they do come with caps, so you can put caps on them as well. But the way I have this set up now, where there's no limbs hanging, I have not had any problems of any rodents getting into it. The only thing is I have to fight now are the birds and the bugs. That's it. So this has worked out really well. Now I have used these galvanized ones, but I have now switched to the Rubbermaid horse troughs because they're wider and I could put them on these wood pallets to just raise them a little bit. But this is what it looks like. You can see how much more room I have in here to grow. And then you can tell with this one, it's full. And that's tomatoes, bell peppers, and herbs and stuff I have growing in there. So it does work well. And I can put more in it in these than I can with these. But if you're fighting for space and whatnot and you don't need like these black ones, the bigger ones, and you just need a smaller space, these are perfect for that. And it works perfectly. And all I did was just put the nozzle on at the bottom, so that way if it gets too full of water, I just open the nozzle up and drain it. And the best thing about that is I can hook a hose to it and drain it into all this water into a bucket. Because look at this, you don't want to waste this good water, because that water, you know, it's clean right now, but when it's it can be filled with nutrients water, which means any of the soil that gets washed down into the bottom, that is good nutrients. You want to save that water. You don't want that to go to waste. Now, living in a more drier climate where you don't get a lot of water, saving water is huge. And I don't want to spend a lot of water just seeping out into the dirt and not concentrating on the roots. I don't want to water ground that I don't need to water. So with these galvanized troughs or these black Rubbermaid troughs, when you put the French drain in and then you fill the reservoir, it fills up the whole entire bottom, and then it wicks up. So all your water is concentrated on your vegetation and nothing else. It doesn't go anywhere else but to your vegetation. So you're not having to water as often. And when you do water, you know it counts and it is watering what you need it to water. And it's not going to waste at all. And for any reason, if you fill these too high with water, that's where you can turn the spigot on, put a hose on it, and fill the reservoir into a bucket of something where you can save all that nice nutrient water so it's not going to waste. So nothing has to go to waste, and that's what I like about using these troughs. So I wanted to show you how they look now that they've got vegetables actually growing in them. And let me show you something else I'm doing. I'm also using it as a greenhouse. So I'm trying this out. I don't know how well it's going to work yet, but there are all my seeds. So I don't have a place in the house to grow my seeds, so I'm going to try growing them out here. And I'm putting them in like a greenhouse type of atmosphere. I don't want it to get too hot because these are my winter sowing seeds. And it's in August and it's still too hot. So I'm leaving it ventilated so the air can get in there, keep it cool, but it still gets the sunlight it needs. And I put them in this cement container where you mix cement, and then I fill it with a little bit of water so that way it can soak up from the bottom as well. And then I lightly water the top, and hoping that when the water wicks up from the bottom, it'll wet those seeds and get those seeds to start sprouting roots. It's an experiment. I don't know how well this is going to work. I'm just trying it to see if this works or not. If it does, this will be a great way to start seeds until I can get my greenhouse up. But in the meantime, we'll see if it works or not. So here's a few ideas of what I'm doing with my troughs. And then this one is just used for storage, but here, this is just that French drain I was talking about. And I just fill the whole bottom with it. And then usually, I leave some out like this for the to get to the top. Excuse me, hang on. So this piece will just hang out at the top. So it's one whole entire piece that fits this whole bottom. So it's cheap, it's light, only it doesn't take a bunch of people to move it. You can set this up by yourself with no help at all. That's just how easy it is. It is a little bit of work, but you can actually do this by yourself. And it's much cheaper than trying to fill the bottom with pebble rocks or cinder blocks or whatever reservoir situation you're trying to use at the bottom. This actually works the best. And then I usually put a sleeve over it too. So I do have a video on that. You can go back and watch that as well. So there's my vegetable beds. So I hope this helped. Hope you liked watching it. And stay tuned for more. And thank you for watching.